ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the B stream here at IEM Oakland. We are getting ready to jump into what has turned into a very, very interesting matchup between EnVyUs and Astralis, and much more so for Astralis, as their record currently sits at 0-2 in this group stage, meaning they'll be facing elimination very soon. If they don't shape themselves up, they must win this match.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Cloud9 just took it against them was something to behold, right? Like, if I were to talk about some of the rounds, I'm not going to do it because I want you guys to go watch it yourself. It's pretty insane. Let's just say Skadaddy went full daddy mode. It was nutty.
It's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, like, I don't even want to ruin it. It was so cool.
But yeah, guys, we are going to be getting ready to jump into this matchup in just a couple of moments. Of course, EnVyUs slowly kind of shaping themselves up throughout the day. We just saw them take down the Mongols in the previous matchup, and prior to that, had actually pretty good results against SK, too, taking it all the way to overtime. So they're feeling it right now. They're in very good straits, and obviously for the guys on for Astralis, it hasn't necessarily been the case. They had to start the day off with Zonic jumping into that, because I believe Device was late for some reason. Had like a personal issue or something like that, had to get on a later flight. And now, he was here for the second match, but they still got beat out by Cloud9 in that most recent one, I believe. So now they're going to come here, face off against EnVyUs, and if they drop this match, well, could be a bit of a surprise exit for them if they don't shape up very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone had told me that Astralis would be 0-2 by this point in the tournament, I'd be pretty surprised. Not that surprised, though, right? They've played SK, they've played C9, both teams that have beat them in the past, regardless of whether or not Device is there. So, you know, it just goes to show you any team can basically bang out at this, you know, era in CS. It's kind of like that parity era where there's not one team that's dominating every single tournament.
Yeah, it's a very good way to put it. Do you think that we'll see that upset come true here? Do we think EnVyUs are going to complete the set and give Astralis the 0-3, or do you think Astralis will? Obviously, you haven't had a chance to like watch Astralis yet today.
Well, I mean, it's on Inferno, and I know EnVyUs are pretty nuts on Inferno. So is Astralis. You know, coming from C9 analyst role. C9 was super strong, very confident on Inferno, but then, you know, Astralis basically showed them how to play the map and beat them really heavy-handedly, like 16-1 or 16-3, like a week or two ago. And I know that also EnVyUs has beat SK 16-3 on this map, so I think we're going to see some high-quality CS right here. This type of map where lurking is very effective is kind of like Happy's playground, right?
Well, yeah.
If you think about it, right, any map where the T rotation is significantly shorter than the CTs makes it easier to lurk, right? Inferno is basically that map.
Yeah. So we are going to be diving into it, ladies and gentlemen. EnVyUs will start off on the T side since Astralis won the knife round, and they get to pick their start over on CT side. It's going to be a quick waltz-up banana for EnVyUs and a quick transition into the site, too. Flashbangs hitting both teams relatively evenly, but Zipex is going to get knocked out first by XMS. They'll continue to push onto the site, leaving only Glaive alive in the back by Garden, but he's been smoked out, too. Won't be able to contribute too much. Happy with a good position. Already kills one of the two retake angles. And now they're really just left with Device and Kirby, and they've gotten 0 kills to adjust for this just yet. So it's an outright 2v5 retake that Astralis have to try and forge their way back into. It's not going to be looking good. Kirby hunting for some kind of headshot out here. Device is thankfully going to be able to go back and make that task a little bit easier, moving in, finding the shot onto Happy at least. But still, time ticking down, and they, as far as I can tell, do not have access to a kit on that site. Scream moving in, knocking out Kirby, and also dinking Device. Well, Device is going to make it a little bit difficult there. Finds Scream, but afterwards, Sixer will take him down, and it secures the pistol for EnVyUs.
Yeah, and those last 2 kills for Device are noteworthy, right? That affords him a P250 or a flashbang on top of what he otherwise would not be able to do because he's the offer. He's paying attention to his money. What I like from that round for EnVyUs is 2 things. Number 1, the flashbang placement was absolutely on point. Both CTs were blind at the time they needed them to be blind. And then secondly, which is a little harder to do, is the jumping Glock swarm. If you ever look at EnVyUs, they seem to know how to do the swarming technique and jumping in the right places with the Glocks. So if you want to look into that, it's pretty cool.
Sixer has started us off with a good first kill from EnVyUs. He's going to want to continue that trend, of course, but they'll still play it pretty slowly here just because it is the force buy from Astralis, so I want to make sure they check all their angles and don't get surprised by any crazy movements that Astralis might have gone for here in the second round. They're playing it pretty direct, though. Just the 3-man stack now on the A site, and of course, you've got Zipex holding back over in B. And we're going to move Glaive over a little bit early, too, since for certain Zipex is going to be hearing some of this action from within side of the B site, up banana. And as such has called for the rotate.
Yeah, something to take note of here is the fact that Astralis has only 1 person that bought up armor into this round. So that tells me that they're very confident in their gun rounds when they have full utility. So just kind of a philosophy of playing CT side, right?
Yeah. Just keep that in mind.
Like, what's a map that you feel comfortable playing the first gun round on without full everything? Probably Nuke, right?
That's true.
Because you can get an up-close gun and also the utility. But Inferno, you can't really fake it.
It's like EnVyUs are still going to be able to pave their way past the Astralis setup pretty quickly, despite that lack of armor. They're making it a little bit easier on them, of course, and for the two players that are still alive on Astralis, they have obviously already been pushed back to the B sites. They're going to call for a save here. No way to retake is literally 0 damage done to EnVyUs on the take itself, and that has left things pretty much wide open for them to start off at a 2-0 and probably a 3-0, of course, after this as well.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be fun to see what strat EnVyUs pulls out on the 4th round, right? Because it's not like Astralis have, you know, the weaponry to take out a lot of players, so it's highly likely they'll go into the 4th round with at least 1 or 2, maybe 3 SMGs, which is when you get to see the gimmicky stuff come out.
So that is going to be a smooth transition between the 1st and 3rd rounds for the most part here from EnVyUs. Pretty much minimal losses. Obviously only having to rebuy utility. And for Astralis, the full save from them, so we're not going to see any additional investment this time. Very, very lightly bought. Default pistols, and of course the ones that were saved in that last round. It's going to be a bit of a slower walk from EnVyUs. More direct this time with Banana at least, but similar in the overall control that they go for to what we had in the 2nd round, where they have players moving up to the mid-choke too. But what is going to be different than you just saw there is going to be a little bit of resistance for Astralis. What you saw there was a team flash, I believe.
That was a crazy flash. If you think about it, it looks like it lands perfectly at that small angle.
At the corner
like
spot.
if it's an opper or something holding this sliver. I call that car wall. Is that what people are calling it nowadays?
I call it half wall.
Half wall?
It blocks half the pathway.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty stupid name, but it's simple to remember.
I think you got to give yourself a little more credit.
Well, as we get back on track, Happy is going to be able to sneak in a kill. A second one is found from XMS out on top of balcony. Bit of a DM round coming out here from EnVyUs here, just kind of waltzing around the map looking for kills.
It's so fun.
And that has opened up the A site for them to find an easy plan. They're no longer going to risk it by executing into B. So, again, likely that we would look for... Well, not even, I don't even think we'll look for saves this time, but there's just not a whole lot they can do because the 3 remaining players have been pincered, so they can still hold back, try to make it a bit more difficult, get a few kills against Astralis hunting them down, or excuse me, against EnVyUs hunting them down. But there's not much huge benefit for EnVyUs to hunt these players down. They'll just do it anyway. It gives them a little bit of extra cash, especially for those that are on the Mac 10 still. And there we go. That transitions EnVyUs into the first gun run. Well, still having 3 Mac 10s, so it's definitely going to be a bit of a bonus round for them.
Yeah, and look, 3 out of the 5 Astralis members have no head armor, so there might be some tilt-inducing outcomes to bear, right? Like, hey, I'm holding this angle with my op, bam, Mac 10 jumping over half wall. Like, seriously, that's not out of the realm of possibility. It looks like EnVyUs is going to take Banana with force, and they're going to be 3 CTs there. Astralis is well known for their concerted Banana XX on the CT side, if you will, but it seems like EnVyUs have that card here.
Scream will very quickly actually clear out the old car spot. He gets that very rapid control. Tees gets smokes too. XMS just eats an HE grenade though, but doesn't stop in it. Molly goes down right under Kirby's feet, I think, and he's going to leap back out, tries to kill the porch player, but Dupree is very ready for that. He's instantly caught looking at XMS and takes him down with relative ease. Now Happy also trying to sneak out from the balcony as well. Will look for options, and I think he spotted Kirby going back to the box, but Kirby returns the same favor, and Dupree moving through the halls on a flank knocks out Happy, and that's cleared out the A site for the most part. Scream is now going to re-entry a little bit late. I think he's trying to work himself over towards Arches, though.
Yeah, that was a very astute kind of information finding play by Dupree there, right? Like flanking the halls. Something to keep in mind is that Dupree is basically almost always in halls every round T side, so he understands the dynamics, as RPK understands the dynamics of one-taps, similar to Scream. And if he's on his form like he has been the last 2 games, he could have clutched that, but he didn't. I didn't get it out in time.
Could have. But not happening this time. He does eventually drop after a very, very nice 1-tap, and that puts Astralis onto the board. Very good defense set up by them. Really not a whole lot getting done by EnVyUs at all in that round, so that's going to be them flatlining up. But as we mentioned before, that was a bit of a bonus round. We have the full rebuy coming in now from EnVyUs, and if they lose this one, then is when things get a little bit more dodgy. Then is when we see them have to eco or make conditions on the force buy.
3B again.
So this is the one that matters right here.
So I wonder if the nade like frequency is showing EnVyUs that there's 3v, right?
It has to show them something.
Because they didn't throw 3 HE grenades, right? There was no like triple use of a nade that could obviously telegraph it, but maybe the frequency with which nades were landing.
Just how often they were coming through, yeah. A bit of a one-for-one trade that happens back over at the outside of B. Look at how quickly EnVyUs are going to follow this up with a sight tick, though. And again, it's a little bit messy. 1-to-1. Neither team coming out on top. Due to the utility usage, though, Envy, for the most part, is able to clear out the B site. Forces Device back in the garden, and of course, pulls the rotates from A. Go into that 3v3. Ooh. Device trying to kill the planter. XMS lucky to be alive, but doesn't stay lucky for very long. Dupree going to finish him off with a high-flying nade over the smoke. And now they'll move in for the retake itself. Happy, he's going to get a little bit aggressive here, too. He moves this at the right time. He can find Kirby without a gun out. And there we go. There's the trade, bringing it down to a 2v2. Happy's going to push this forward a little bit more, but he's got to move quicker as he's just lost his teammate. Now he's alone against both Dupree and Device. They're not checking that flank right now, but they are onto the defuse. Device will hold against the flank from Happy, though, taking him out and allowing Dupree to defuse the bomb, giving Astralis their second gun round. And of course, putting them one away from the tie, while also forcing EnVyUs onto what will more than likely... they might actually buy again here. They kind of have enough money.
I feel like the swiftness and just like the ease with which Astralis retook that is kind of a testament to how much it's obvious that they're a top team. Right? Like, it was so concerted. Like, the nades on the bomb spot right after he's spamming it. Like, it just seemed like they'd talked about all the ways in which they could approach that, right? It's crazy. It's beautiful CS to watch. I love it.
Very well done from Astralis and Dupree showing up again. This time over the boiler steps. Seems to have panicked a little bit, though. So won't get that first kill. Kirby able to secure one. Dupree looking for the frag on RPK, and he's going to get it. Sometimes XMS's trade. Again, really not a whole lot getting done by EnVyUs, and some good shots from Device on the op at the end there. Quick little 3K from him. And that's the tie at 3-3. But after that bit of a mixed buy round from EnVyUs, they're right back onto the buy themselves. We should see full investment from both teams here.
So Zypex is a B player, sitting on 0 frags. Although he does have 2 assists. I wonder how many flashbang assists he would have.
You can check that now. Like I said, HLTV has that on their store right now.
Yeah.
So.
Now we can just say it. You can just go.
I mean, we won't know that, but you guys at home will. So we could actually probably open it on a monitor tab. Ooh, that's for later. His Device, sneaks out, finds Sixer, but 2 immediate trades from both sides of the map. Dupree's going to look for some revenge, but he's got to be careful. He's one of only 2 members of his team alive at this point. It's a 1-for-1. It's not going to suffice here. It's up to Zypex. Try and trade these kills back. Been able to hear the bomb dropping down a little bit there, so there's a miss around the corner. It's got traded back off. Scream, though, just hopping away. Oh, and even re-peeks that, too, to get that kill. Nicely done from Scream. EnVyUs will take back control off of that. Astralis have one more buy before they're broken.
Yeah, that round kind of spun out of control there. Right as Device got that nice pick on the Sixer, it just seemed like Astralis just died everywhere in a matter of 10 seconds. Kind of hard to follow. It's good, though, for Device, right? Because he got here a little late, didn't know how much time he had to warm up, but, you know, picking a T-Opper that's holding an angle is pretty impressive.
And so now we will see EnVyUs continue the crawl up Banana, as, of course, they've been doing throughout most of the half so far. Always on their side. Will force them to make a move, and it's going to be Zypex that comes out on top, holding it B, eliminating RPK first out in the round. Seems to want to stick around there, or at least he'll fall back. But Device will take up the mantle at Old Card Spot, and knock out Scream. So much cleaner this time from Astralis, as they're quickly eliminating the EnVyUs roster here.
I think Astralis have a hard read on EnVyUs, and the fact that they prefer to take Banana quite quickly when they have a lot of money. Right? So every time that EnVyUs has had, you know, theoretically a round they should buy on, Astralis has had 3B. Right? So if we ever see a round in this half when Envy is saving or doesn't have a good buy, I would implore you to look and see if they have 3B. Right?
All right. Keep an eye on that.
So if I'm the coach of EnVyUs, I would develop a fast mid strat.
We are going to see EnVyUs try to quickly deploy the A site. Not a fast mid, but Sixer gets himself up on top of the flower pots there. Problem is, can't find good positioning after he gets that kill. So it's not long before we see a trade, another one being added onto it. Happy, of course, trying his best to survive the round, but Dupree will eventually knock him out. And again, we will find ourselves tied with EnVyUs pretty much on a broken economy, and that's going to trigger a save, or excuse me, that's going to trigger a pause call. Probably a save too. But.
Yep. Astralis along with Danish Counter-Strike, is kind of renowned for having very disciplined and strong CT sides, and EnVyUs are kind of allowing that to happen right now, right? If they had won that round when they full committed B, then Astralis retook in what was an EnVyUs advantage situation. If they had won that round, they could have had a huge lead into this half, because that was a reset round. And obviously, you know, Astralis being 0-2 right now down in the tournament, none of those things can help their psyche, right? Like, you travel all the way from Europe, somebody comes late, you're 0-2, EnVyUs beats you on a B rush, you know, things just start to spiral out of control. The human mind is hard to corral.
A lot of things stacking up against you in the deep recesses, you know? It'd be a little bit hard to climb out of that pit.
Isn't that funny? The word recess, like playing around, is also used in that way.
I guess, yeah. Well, they're going to be able to bring XMS down low to start it off. A nice little whop shot coming in from the device there. But oh my god, RP or XMS moving in there quickly takes care of Dupree. And that's going to be, I'm going to listen to you there. It's going to be a pretty quick play through the mid choke point. Problem is now they have to round this into a sight take, but RPK is helping out with that. Kills the flank, opens up B a little bit more, and Scream shows up with the entry on Rap side. It's going to open up a whole new pathway for him to play with here. Trying to cut off rotates, but in reality, the only two left alive are just playing in the A site here. So Kierby moves out, sneaks away, one kill. Sixer coming on the flank is going to be spotted by Device. An instant headshot from him. And now Kierby finds Happy pushing down mid, and all of a sudden, out of absolutely nowhere, that round gets spun right on its heels, and Astralis take it away. And what I believe was a 2v4.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed like they knew where the Ts were coming from. I'm not exactly sure why they knew he was library. Maybe he got to kill B. But that was kind of a quirky buy by EnVyUs. I saw two guys coming out of spawn with no armor and three of them with AK armor. So I guess it's one of those rounds where they're just trying to keep Astralis' money in check.
Money's been a little bit uneven too for EnVyUs, so they might have been trying to back down to a more even level. Kierby, though, pushing out through alt mid, is only actually going to get one kill. He's then traded, and what is this? The train up through Banana gets him a kill, and Happy, surprise! The peek for the mini pit gets him the kill on Device, and Scream with a newly armed M4 finds the last kill. That upset round comes completely out of nowhere, and again, we're tied.
Glocks!
Pretty much, yeah. Look at what it's done to Astralis' money. They are dead broke, so this should be a full save for them, with the exception of maybe one or two more pistol buys here.
Wasn't there a guy pushing mid with an MP9 that round?
Yes.
You know what's funny is as he was pushing mid, I was like, I love this call by Astralis. You know, really taking the momentum into their own hands. And then they lose the rounds. Good thing I didn't say it. I would have confirmed myself as an imposter of knowing CS stuff. Kappa.
So it's Happy. That pushes up from the mini pit area again there, gets the kill onto Device. Starts it off well for EnVyUs here. Dupree, of course, able to hear all the footsteps going on down below. Looks for the headshot angle, and right into the back of his neck. Knocks out XMS. He's going to look for one more here, but his time is up. It's time to fall back. As Sixer has also come alive with his first kill of the round here. Dupree, another chance to impact, but he misses the mark. Glaive tries to conclude. Oh!
Why are you running towards Dupree with a deagle? You know he's there with the deagle.
That was a beautiful flick, but it will only lead to a 1-1 trade, which obviously is not going to hinder EnVyUs that much at this point in the round with the way that they've cleared things out. Just Zipix left alive now in a 1v3. And in crossing mid, I think Sixer is just trained on mid choke point, so.
He's going to need to quadruple his kills here to clutch this. Although he is the clutch master, so you never know when it can come out.
Let's see. Sixer's back there waiting for it, however.
Gets a gun.
Sixer doesn't take the shot either, which actually might be wrong about that since it's far away. But Zipix looking like he's not even going to attempt this anymore. Now that he's been spotted, it's a little bit more easy for EnVyUs to close out in position to counter a retake from him. So he'll just take the M4, run away into the T apartments, and be okay with saving this, letting EnVyUs take the lead again.
Look at that artwork.
It's very nice.
Very tasteful.
Yeah. It's very homey, you know? Very cozy. Look at that. We're all of a sudden, we're in a different world. It's just, there's no violence here. There's no fighting going on. Oh my god, we went into the photo for a second there. Did you see that tree?
I can't even.
Well, we're going to move swiftly into the next round here.
Well, at the end of the day, you know, if you get knocked out of the tournament early, at least you're in sunny California.
That is very true. We're kind of far away from the beach up here, though. It's a bit of a drive, but
hey, at least you can drive there, and you know it's pretty close.
It's maybe like an hour.
I don't wish that of any team. I
Actually,
wish all teams to succeed.
Right now, it's probably way more than an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's
yeah, that thing.
It's getting rush hour.
There's that friction. Who's at B alone? Zypex in the M4. He's going to have it all to do. Seems like EnVyUs has a common pattern of how they like to clear out that pesky sandbags along with the common pool peak, sometimes aided by the help of a flash. Sometimes teams even get as emotional as to do the G2 retake with the Molotov.
Let's see here. EnVyUs took that top mid B control, but not doing anything with it. Just going to be sitting back and running the timer in a little more. Even threw the bomb back away, so that's going to transition though. That'll move with the rest of the team, and it looks like they are going to recommit fully into Banana. Glaive, of course, won't be spotting any of this from his position, or at least I don't believe he will be able to. And the rest of EnVyUs is going to push quickly into the B site here. Astralis, for whatever reason, had 2 CT instead of 1 up on the site, and Device being given plenty of opportunities to impact, but not able to find any connections. It's actually Glaive
right there.
Yeah, it's actually Glaive that gets the only kill. It's a weird smoke,
Is that a T smoke or a CT smoke?
I was trying to figure that out myself, but
oh, they have that deep spawn smoke. I think that's really, really smart, actually, right? I think Joshua Steele Nissan went on a huge monologue about how, you know, when the other team has pistols, you don't want your smokes close to the areas that you cross.
Oh.
Right? So, like, that smoke basically allows them easier ability to get within lethal range.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Basically lets them like sneak up on the T's a little bit.
Yeah, so it's like if you can group on an area and just fire guns at them, you don't need a smoke,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's just, you know, because it's obviously you're still going to be advantaged in a usual 1v1 fight. The smoke just adds like needless complexity to it.
And it allows them to make plays, a la Stewie 2K.
Yep. So it's actually pretty smart now that you've explained it, so thank you for that. We are going to see EnVyUs continue to sneak up and continue to play for that banana control. It's become so predictable, though. So Astralis have very much established dominance over here with 3 players pushing out from the B site, and they hit 3 kills, so it works out pretty well for them. And the bomb, of course, that's been dropped, along with now Kirby finding XMS in the apartments. Only Happy left alive here, and in a second, pretty sure Kirby's going to be able to hear him. Some sort of sound cue should give it away.
So what I think is really cool about why Astralis decided to fight that round is because I think they recognize the pattern, right? Like, obviously, we're on round 13. It's almost the end of the half. They didn't feel confident to fight Banana significantly up until now, but I think they recognized the pattern and took advantage of it. Another, like, kind of subtle nuance that made it really, really good is whenever you're on CT side and you can have a bait setup where your opper gets the first kill, it's almost always going to make the T's want a wide swing, right? Because they're like, oh, he can't fire his op again right now. Let's trade this kill, and then they just run into Kayerby, who's just waiting with arms, or I think it was Zypex, right? He just got the next 2 kills.
Zypex. So we do go 6-7.
Actually, it definitely was not Zypex who got the next 2 kills. That's mathematically not possible given what we're showing right there.
Maybe you got a team kill.
Es posible.
You know, let's bring your score down, so could have been that.
Does it?
Yeah, it does. I think it does. It should.
I should know that.
In normal games it does. Yeah. Just I don't know if they like to turn it off for this, but don't think they would.
What was going on with the third-person POV right there? It was like bouncing up and down.
It was DJ saying yes. It's
oh, he was telling us yes?
Yeah,
wow.
he's like a sentient observer, you know. You can talk to it.
Sentient, now that's a try-hard word. Where is this strat here? Top middle control, get the pick, 4v4. What is so funny?
Nothing.
Oh, did he see him?
I
don't think he did.
Zippix.
Top of second orange.
Falling back at the site.
RPK does a lot of damage. Doesn't get the kill. It's Apex. If you get another kill, buddy, I'll give you a pat on the back. It wasn't you. You don't get a pat on the back. Now you do.
There we go. There's the second kill. And with that secured, it leaves only Happy alive in a 1v3 scenario. So he's going to try to push himself forward. He sees Zypex there, so he's able to take him down, but then peeks right into Devices up, giving Astralis the 7th round, and now tying it up at 7-7.
I hope for another overtime. I hope for a close match.
That would be cool if we could get that. We're going to have to wait a little bit, though, because we have to pause right now. So that, and then we still have the whole second half, so there's that, too.
Yeah?
Damn pauses. It's delaying the match.
Figuring out the buy.
This is a
look at that. They're getting a CZ on everybody. It's going to be interesting if the clutch of this round comes down to the fact that somebody couldn't pull out their pistol in time.
Look, they even had to like micro the P250 buy in there on Glaive because they couldn't afford this extra CZ. They really...
What about the decoys? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Device has a slot, so does Kirby. What if you were so sweaty that you literally made decoys all fall in one area and then you like pushed a guy into that area and it exploded him?
Ideally, it does like a couple damage when it explodes.
Right, like, because I always...
There is that 1 in a million chance where you're both going to run out of ammo and you need to... The guy's 1 HP and you just peg him, you know?
If I could try it every game I play for the rest of my life and it will transpire me getting 1 upvote, I'm down. Let's go.
All right, well, let's get into the final round here and see which team is going to come out with a very slight advantage.
That top mid smoke from EnVyUs is awesome, right?
Oh, Scream moves out, just barely catches Glaive before he can fall back. But look at the damage that was returned for the mollies. Scream's at 60, RPK's at 21. Xipix is blind in the back box here, and Scream again. That's the headshots we need to see. He moves up and takes down Xipix. All of a sudden, completely stunning the site defense.
It must be nice to have a team listen to you when you say go and rush, right? They literally didn't stop. Scream just doesn't care.
Look, he's going to look for a 4th here now as well. He's got the blindness for it too, so there we go. Picks up the kill on Dupree. 1 remains. Oh, Kirby's going to deny the ace. But still, the job is done, and eventually Kirby will be flagged out by Happy, giving the half to EnVyUs primarily off of that very impressive last round from Scream. Some good stuff for him, and it secures an 8-7 lead for EnVyUs. Stick with us, guys, to see if they're going to be able to keep it or if Astralis will bounce back when we switch sides right after this.
There's not much you can do about that. Jesus, man.
Alrighty, and we are back again, guys. Astralis versus EnVyUs here from IEM Oakland, the B stream. Continuing on in a very close match, dead heat between these two teams. And for Astralis, it could very well mean early elimination for this tournament if they don't shape up on this match and on this pistol round. It's going to be a bit of a mess to start things off. RPK pushing in, confirms additional kills, though. With the elimination of Device, suddenly the odds don't look so good. Kirby strikes back, but still not long before he's dead on the ground seconds later. 1 remains, and he tries to sneak up on Happy inside of the apartments, but won't get the jump on him. Happy's ready for it, and he picks up the last kill, securing the advantage for EnVyUs with the win of the pistol.
And RPK staying consistent on the day, being an absolute beast in every match and every round I've watched him in. Astralis is just not having a good day, man. They literally rushed B, 5 armor, and there was 4 CTs waiting there. They had a 4 B stack from the beginning of the round. Like,
the audacity.
That's so unlucky for Astralis. Right? Because even though RPK got 3, just the fact that he knew he had 4 there imbues him with more confidence, right? He can just be bravado in his peaks. Pun intended.
Be a lot more aggressive just in general there, since he has the support of his teammates for the most part.
Exactly.
And that definitely seemed to help him quite well, as EnVyUs did a great job securing that first round of the half right here. Still a lot more work to do, though, as it was only an 8-7 start, so they're not going to get anywhere quickly with this lead. If they get ecoed here, Or, of course, if they win these first few rounds, but then immediately drop the advantage on the first gun round. Scream continues to hold it, though, as he gets the first kill of the second round now by eliminating Kirby. Glaive striking back, though. Bit of a messy spray, but finds the headshot onto Sixer, taking him down. And Happy goes lurking inside of the apartments, but is taken out by Zipix, so they've got to be careful about this. This could very quickly get out of their hands, especially for RPK, who's about to be overwhelmed. Device playing that so smart, just confusing the heck out of RPK. He gets the quick kill on him, and all of a sudden it is looking like that stolen round might be coming a lot sooner than EnVyUs would have thought.
This is the type of round where Astralis will not lose a single round the rest of the half after, right? Like, they're the type of team where it's like if they get mentally pumped up, their strat book is so deep and their strat book is so practiced that they're just going to run you into the ground. That angle, remember you said a device is playing with RPK? That angle of retaking like a site on Inferno through the moto and having to like go up through all those angles, I literally have like PTSD from like trying to go through the site. I hate that angle. It's like, oh, is there a guy big pit? Is there a guy graveyard? Is there a guy site? Is there a guy apartments? It's literally ridiculous to retake. That's why I call it he's PTSD.
He was, especially after that play right there. So dropping that round, and we're right back where we started. A one-round advantage to Team EnVyUs, and they will obviously force up two since they kept a few players alive in that situation. Let's see, RPK still waiting on him to fully invest. Looks like he buys into it with primarily just the armor and pistol, though. So
where are they going to send Zypex and Glaive? They have the two MP9s. Probably want them entering. You do not want to give up an AK early here. That is one of the worst decisions you can make. Interesting. Envy has 4B right now with only Happy towards A. Usually if you get a kill on the IGL towards some site and he seems to be doing something kind of weird with a pistol, that usually means they're stacked on the opposite site. So just a small tidbit.
See them starting to quickly push back in here too. Happy holding back over here at the barrel.
Trying to relive the glory days of Banana with the 5 deagle headshot ace. Not going to happen.
Not going to find that this time around anyways. Astralis do push up to the site, get pretty clean control. And again, there's not really room for EnVyUs to do anything else. Despite only losing one player here, RPK will trade that, but even so, they've already got their two guys falling back to B like they're going to save. So I think that they're pretty much committed to that at this point, even with that extra kill. And that should be Astralis now tying it up at 9-9.
Yeah, I don't think Astralis knows what Envy brought into this round, right? Like, look at what they have. I don't think they had that last round at all.
Well, they saved it, I think, on two of those two players, XMS and Scream. I'm pretty sure that was saved.
Okay. You right.
Yeah.
That kit though, with the smoke, could come in handy next round.
The utility and all that's going to be great to have, and it just serves to bolster them up a little bit, makes them spend a little bit less cash, I think, overall. But unfortunately, it is still going to be SMGs and whatnot, but Astralis also have a couple of those too, so it's going to be probably a little bit of a weird first round here, first gun round potentially from both of these teams.
We're sitting at 9-9, basically 0-0, play to 7. Because the first team that gets to 16 wins if you're not in overtime. Just letting you know.
It actually looks like EnVyUs doesn't even decide to buy up here because their money's in such a weird spot. I noticed that too, since they kind of had to buy in a little bit more in that last round. So they're going to end up with Astralis potentially having another easy round and push themselves up to 10. And this is obviously because of the way that they start off in weird fashion. He's not able to buy just yet, simply because they win the pistol, but then get upset afterwards, and then things get kind of crazy from that point forward. Of course, it doesn't end up working too well, so this is the full save round for them.
It's heating up.
Oof, man. Device, a bit of a struggle there trying to work his way outside of that. Scream will find a second kill too. This is not what Astralis needed right here, was to lose these players so, just openly at the beginning of the round. They finally traded back a little bit with Dupree finding the kill against RPK, but...
this right here is where your IGL is going to come through in spades, right? Let's see what Glaive's call is. What do you do in a 4v3? They're somewhat tagged up. You can maybe guess that they might not have armor. You don't know who saved the gun. All you can guarantee is one of them has armor 100%. There could be more. They're going to send Dupree on a fact-finding mission.
Dupree
Interesting.
Should have heard this guy
has full
library,
health.
Though. So I think he's going to try to go in and kill him pretty quickly, as no one should assume Dupree's back here. Ooh, bypassing it for now, just keeping an eye on it as he falls back and looks for the route over to B. They're playing the objective right now.
He's boosted, huh? Scream's boosted up
He
on the
is, yes,
little
and he's the
flower
only
pot.
one here, too. So this is going to be a free clear of the site. There we go. Easy kill right there for Dupree.
It seemed like he was thinking about not shooting to find more. Right? And then he's like, no, I'm not trying to become a Reddit post right now.
Well, of course, it's very likely that there, would have been like 1 or 2 players up on the site, so just playing it back, hoping for that possibility, and they don't get it. Now it's just about holding down the fort, but Sixer moves in. With an easy little P250 starts it off for these guys. Dupree is going to shut down those dreams almost entirely, however, with the 2 quick kills that he's found on the AK, and then it's left to Happy on a Deagle, but won't stay that way for very long, as Dupree will take him down, and now take the lead against Team EnVyUs at 10-9, and this should finally be the first real gun round from EnVyUs, of course, after the chaotic start here. Not the usual 4th round, but going to happen here instead.
Yep. It's going to be a dogfight from here on out. Both teams seemingly having a decent amount of data on how the other team likes to play. I think something, though, that might change here in the latter half of this match is Zypex getting mentally into it, right? So, in terms of fragging power, he's been a little bit out of it this match. I obviously haven't been watching only his POV, so I can't comment directly. But as soon as he shows up, that could be a huge boost for Astralis. Looks like they're going to go for that bracket control first, showing a distinct difference between the way EnVyUs heavily favors banana control early on in the round. And I think the difference that allows Astralis is that they have 100 health right now, right?
Yeah.
By this time on the clock for EnVyUs, it's probably like a 4v3 or a 3v3 or somebody's heavily damaged. So seems like Astralis go for the more metered approach, if you will.
And it looks like they are going to start to push that approach forward a bit more into the A site. Quick smokes and utility deployed onto the site to let them initiate, although they are going to hold it, as I think they only tossed 1 or 2 smokes up to the actual A site. They still have 1 more to try and use here. And actually, no, it looks like they used their full kit. So
this is nutty. I like this. The walk wrap.
And they've already gotten the first kill, too. Dupree's going to try to continue that forward. RPK will find the trade. And Scream will be found out over here. He's going to be taken out. It's not just him on the device. Also hit the next entry. Happy trying to stay alive from behind Pit, but Zipex finally moving out from the top side there. We'll be able to eliminate him. And with those kills, it's left only 1 more man standing and alive from EnVyUs. That's going to be Xmas way over on the B site. No retake for him. The round goes to Astralis, and they take an 11-9 lead over EnVyUs here.
So Astralis just basically did a 300 IQ strat, and the reason it's not 200, which is great, but it's 300, which is exceptional, is the fact that a lot of teams lately have been doing those same smokes and then lurking a T out with the aid of a bunch of flashbangs in a big pit, right? But what they do is they basically cause that huge rotation, walk to wrap side. Like, that's so hard to read. They're walking the whole time. So much trust in the exec. Right, like they basically invited themselves to get pummeled by nades because they did the exec so early on in the round. They just like knew it was going to work. This is crazy.
Yeah. And it ends up working out very well for them, even with the slower pace that they have to take to just get up and get platform control to finally find that plant. EnVyUs, I believe, called for another pause right here, however. So they are going to end up with a relatively light buy in this round, I would imagine, unless they decide to force it, which I don't think is going to happen at this point in time. That should be unpaused momentarily here. So we'll get back into it. Take a look to see what EnVyUs discussed will end up helping them. More so on the next round, of course, since, like I said before, this one's just going to be upgraded pistols for them for the most part.
Should we make that cop-out kind of comment right here where it's like, well, if they are going to win a round, it's going to be this one because they have pistols and armor. You know how, like, I feel like every match I ever hear casted has that, like, almost, like, feel sorry for myself kind of analysis. Like, I don't really want to think about how they're doing this.
We only say that if they actually come close to winning the round. Right now, this is still, like, normal. So if we start seeing them getting kills now, we can say that, but...
So we're allowed to?
No, not right now. If they kill Device, then we can say it. But I think it's a safe bet that they've got this round here. Device is still alive, so that kill on Zipix doesn't count. As now it's just down to Happy. And again, will not be able to survive for that long. Device gets himself a cheeky little 4K hiding out in mid, and that secures the 12th round now.
And the money on Astralis is booming. And I would venture to guess that at some point in the game, if Astralis has strong money, they are one of the hardest teams to beat. Right? If they have all the fixins to do whatever they want, they seem to have a very, very good approach.
And that approach so far has been working out quite well for them after upsetting, of course, against the pistol round won by EnVyUs. I don't think they've won a single round since that point.
What's
and
up, XMX?
Yeah, starts this off with a banger headshot.
Cuddy's did a backflip. That was theatrical.
He's going to continue to push forward as well. He was getting a little bit scared against Scream, though, for whatever reason. He's going to hold back on that, at least for now. But there's the spam to find Scream. And that has killed most of the defensive setup on B. But what's interesting is that Astralis are playing this into the other site, and EnVyUs are not ready for it in any sense of the word. Dupree works his way back out. Sixer's now left alone here. And while he does kill Device, it's still not going to leave room for any significant trades. Sixer's fallen back to call for a save. Happy's getting out of here as well. And Astralis have found yet another round as they are continuing forward in unstoppable fashion here against EnVyUs currently.
Yeah, and I mean, this is basically tombing them, save some kind of eco round weirdness, right? If they don't save this gun, they're done.
And they are definitely not saving that gun.
They're not buying this round. If they are, it's going to be terrible, and then I'm going to eat my words because they're going to win it, and then I'm going to throw my papers in the air, and you're going to look at me asking, what are you doing, James Harrell? And I will say, I am reacting to
well,
this.
Actually, I do have some. Let's see, what are these papers for? Do we need them?
Oh, as you gingerly pull your iPhone away.
Let's see what. Oh, this is for Pro League. Yeah, I can throw these papers.
Easy there.
Well, I mean, Pro League's over now. So.
Well, what does it have to do with these are from?
Oh, I was just saying. I mean, if it was for this show, then.
Oh, okay.
You know, we couldn't. We need them.
Yeah.
But
You're right.
that was an old show. Dupree's gonna move right in. Finds a oh my goodness, finds a massive stack of players. And I thought for sure Device.
Could we say it now?
Call and been traded that, but yeah, now we can say it, right? Oh, this will be the round that they win, you know?
Oh, they don't win a gun round for X amount of rounds.
It had to be this round.
Oh, jeez.
But won't call it just yet. We'll see. Astralis, if they play this well enough, may be able to control this, especially with that kill on Happy. Oh, the bait and switch from Happy. Moves in there.
Did he have his pistol out early on to make him think that it was going to be an easy kill? And then he's like, haha, I got you. You're running at me.
I think when he was shifting forward, I think that's when he had the pistol out. I didn't see the silhouette
That's
too well.
Ballsy. Especially with CZ.
Yeah, and then I think he pulled back and whipped out the up. All right, RPK with another shot now. This time on the AK. He's found the kill on Nick Kirby. And now I think we can say it for sure. This is a round that EnVyUs really had no right to steal away from Astralis. They might just be able to accomplish that. Glaive is the only one standing in their way at this point. But a quick first kill, a missed up shot, providing opportunities here for Glaive to clutch. And now he's brought it down to a 1v2 with easily 5 or more seconds to find a post-plant position. So he has all the time in the world. Really, the only negative is going to be utility, but EnVyUs doesn't have all that much either. This is pretty much just going to be a straight-up gunfight unless they predict he's in here and use that one molly on him.
Please go apps. Oh, this is...
They're, in theory, about to walk right into Glaive if they're not careful about this.
Oh, they
molly,
clear that angle. That can help.
wrong pit position. They should, if they clear this out, though, I would assume they check the other part of pit 2. But they're going to walk right in. They look towards it and scream. It's a very quick headshot. Who else, of course, would shut down Glaive? And, of course, with just enough time left, EnVyUs will defuse the bomb, keeping them in the match. And, more importantly, putting them just 3 away from the tie against Astralis.
And double, more importantly, fulfilling the prophecy of course, winning the round with pistols, but not winning gun rounds. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the most important
point.
point.
Why did we attach the nasally voice to that?
I don't know.
Is there a reason behind that, or? I just followed you when you did that, but.
Well, that's something that people do and they complain, right? Their voice kind of.
Oh, like, yeah.
Right, so it's like, and then when you're making a point that's kind of annoying like that, I don't know. I don't know where it came from. We should probably stop doing it.
I guess so, yeah. We can just do it later at some point randomly. Just really throw people off, you know? Keep them guessing.
Like when you're ordering coffee.
Yeah. Let's jump back into the fight here, though, as Astralis are starting to take apartments control. And Dupree, specifically, is looking for his way to get out from Boiler. Currently stuck on the inside. Molly's going to force him to make a move as well.
I think he wanted that to go deeper up the stairs so he could almost...
Force him out.
Well, peek with that flash.
Doesn't happen, however, and more damage comes back in a much greater form from the Astralis roster, hitting Scream for nearly 80 damage. The push from RPK almost lets him get this trade kill, but now with the loss of Sixer, it's gone unanswered. EnVyUs, unfortunately, very ill-defended because of that. RPK also taking a massive risk
I feel like if I
right
did that in any level of CS, I would have gotten destroyed.
How aggressive RPK is allowed to be right now. I mean, the amount of times he's just peeked middle without being punished for it is pretty incredible. He's getting very lucky to not have anyone from Astralis checking for these positions.
It must be nerve-wracking to peek an angle against Astralis, just knowing what kind of like lame default setup they're going to be holding. Or like some kind of reactive-based approach.
They move in double flashes as well around the corner towards porch side, and they're going to very quickly try to shock value this. 2-for-1 trade on the start of it. Xyp9x does get pit control for free, but Glaive can't bargain up to the site, and Xyp9x not immediately there for the trade because he's stuck behind the smoke. Now he's going to look for a way to push past it, but will wait for Device to get into position. However, he's also immediately taken down by Happy. One more trade comes out from Xyp9x, but now he's going to look for a quick plant. Didn't realize that Happy was still up on the site, and that fatal mistake will cost him as EnVyUs secure another round here against Astralis.
And EnVyUs are going to have to secure another 1, maybe 2 rounds in a row to slog through this large amount of money that Astralis has built up. Seemingly it is possible. They've won 2 in a row already, one of them on not the best buy. This is crunch time right here. I think we might get the barn burner that we want and the barn burner that we deserve. Let's see a 30-rounder.
Well, we will find out, of course, if it goes that far. Astralis, like you were saying before, still have at least one more big buy, potentially 2, before their money is completely thrown into the dumps. I believe they're the ones taking a pause here as well, just to try and figure things out. Could also be EnVyUs, but we don't know that for certain.
I wonder if we're going to see some kind of variable to that smoke exec arch wrap, right? So maybe EnVyUs has some kind of adaptation to that, and then Astralis will like think a level ahead of that and bite them in the butt. I don't know, I'm excited to see what happens here. I think that strat right there was a little bit half-baked because they didn't get a perfect wall in the pit, which made them also clear pit at the same time as sight, and then the crossfire just shredded them. I feel like people aren't spamming that close left box up to the left of default planet A. You can spam through the stone wall with an AK, by the way.
I've seen some people do it, I just haven't seen a lot of people do it in this match, especially... Yeah. I guess the pit control just spurs them on a little bit further that they usually end up getting.
You can also, in the apartments with an op, shoot through the wood wall, through the stone wall, and hit the guy there. So theoretically, you could just be standing there and fire off 20 op shots in a row if you don't get naded.
Don't think that's going to be a tactic that'll get used too much, but RPK, and unfortunate timing on the flash against him, leads to his first elimination. Glaive finds the second kill too, and the flashes in general from Astralis just keep destroying EnVyUs here. Sixer survives simply because he doesn't make any noise, but even when he finally strikes, can only get a singular kill, and XMS just outright denied when he tries to push through the smoke. Yeah.
That is the worst angle to retake. And there it goes. Their money is terrible. Do they play for the tie? Oof, this is a hard decision right here.
They're
I would
close.
pause.
Oh, they're going to force it.
They're going to go for it. XMS.
The big buy. Let's find out if it will make the difference. They pretty much have to upset now on a force buy like this. Otherwise, we'll just continue to see another buy of similar fashion, but probably with less utility, going into what could be the very final round of the map.
I mean, some would say Inferno is one of those maps where pistol force buys are viable due to the closer engagements that you can force, and that's going to be a bad start.
Glaive will immediately take down Scream. Unfortunate timing strikes again here, and EnVyUs being aware of some of these situations. Scream has already lost himself. The rest of the Astralis roster quickly propping up to secure the B site, but a great support flash comes in. Where's XMS, though, to actually punish this? Not really a whole lot done, just knocking off 2/3 of Kirby's HP, so he's still good in fighting shape here. And even worse, he crosses into the open after Glaive had taken grill control, so he's going to pick up another kill. Another one also is found on the A site, and that'll go completely unanswered.
Yeah, EnVyUs is basically just eating out of Astralis' hand. This is the most quintessential way the T side wants to play Inferno, where you're basically teeter-tottering between A and B, right? Like, they kind of threw smokes B, took control of B, didn't fully commit with the bomb, and basically just listened to people rotating. It was perfectly played, and there goes the BM knife. Not needing the money, but he does it anyway. Sixer's going to be shaking his head. Dupree's going to be laughing.
It's not like this.
The yin and yang of life. Somebody is happy and somebody is sad.
So
a wise man once told me. I'm just kidding, that's not true.
I mean, that's probably true.
Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Let's get into
5 CZs, 5 pocket AK-47s, allowing the utility for EnVyUs here. This is not out of the question. You never know when that quick CZ headshot, untradeable kill is going to come through. I think RPK is kind of overstayed his welcome close porch, and Dupree's going to be expecting this.
He hasn't been doing much from this position, but that's worth a change here now as he's finally able to get a kill.
He literally threaded the needle between flashbangs and nades right there to get that kill. It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, look at this. Look at how aggressive they are. Just outright peeking this angle. And that's going to become problematic because he's the only one on that site. There's no one watching the flank or anything, so it's very easy for someone to flank them out. XMS, at least based on the shock value of the rotate, takes down a device, but they've got Kirby holding in boilers, so he's got good sound cues to listen for. Definitely knows they've gone for mid-control and that the CTs have arrived here. Oh man, he just casually walks up and finds Scream 2. I don't know if he realized that there was a second guy that pushed through either. The footsteps might have thrown him off, so at least he's got the trade guaranteed. XMS bringing it back down into a 2v2, keeping it even for now, but Astralis, again, very focused, laser focused in that they need to win this game. And they may have now done just that. XMS left alone. They already know where he's coming from. The Molly will force Glaive out of position, and the smoke will give him slightly more room to work off of. Trying to go up and find Zipex. No spam through the wall, just directly peeks him. And that'll be the final kill. Zipex will close out for Astralis as they take this map 16-11. And with that, they get to stay in the tournament, most importantly, and also even out the record to the same thing as EnVyUs, as both teams will now be 1-2 in their respective group.
Beating EnVyUs on Inferno is not a small feat either. That team, I mean, to 16-3 SK, that's insane,
huge
right?
feat
So
right
obviously
there, yeah.
they know how to play the map. I'm very happy to see Astralis coming back hard after first 2 maps of the tournament not going so well, but that's the beauty of round robin, right? They're still alive.
Yes, indeed they are.
All you have to do is win out. Just do that.
Just win it out. Just win it out. And then with that, you can move on into the main event, which is going to be upstate. But for now, we are going to be closing out on this match. We still have plenty more to come, ladies and gentlemen, so stick with us here on the B stream. I'll be back with the next match in just a little bit.